Breaking today, the implosion of the Sussexes. Meghan Markle's Archewell charity scam and as ever lies have finally been exposed, and an astonishing double blow for the fake Duchess. We're going to get into it all.
Look, there's been leaked financial details from the Archewell Foundation that's quite fascinating because it shows that there's...
Are they insane? What is happening? There is complete and utter chaos going on. The Meg and Harold are taking their rebrands far too literally at this point.
Now let's talk a little Harry and Meghan. Their Archewell Foundation has been declared delinquent by the state of California, meaning it is not in good standing as a charity and not permitted to engage in activities like raising and spending money, pretty much all you would expect a charitable fund to do.
As ever, we know, launched in April of last year, and Meghan started off with raspberry spread, the flower sprinkles, the teas, and a honey. And we've had a couple of little bits and pieces added to it since then.
Meghan Markle finally achieved something in 2025 without having to buy it. Villain of the Year, Worst TV Show of 2025, Most Disliked Celebrity, a clean sweep that confirms one thing: the public is done.
I think where the problem lies is the fact that Harry and Meghan, when they do have a camera in front of them and when they are in a position to communicate with the public, they're not promoting that charity.
Meghan Markle spent all year long talking about success, desperately trying to sell this image of being this successful businesswoman, this CEO and philanthropist. The amount of publicity she bought in 2025.
It is understood that the Archewell Foundation did not pay the necessary fees correctly and was unaware of the issue until the delinquency notice was issued. Gabby?
Sitting on a bunch of inventory is never, ever good. And remember, Meghan said...
Meghan Markle panics as IRS launches Archewell investigation. The truth revealed. The once glamorous Duchess, Meghan Markle's world is crashing down as shocking revelations emerge about her charity, Archewell Foundation. What was supposed to be a humanitarian beacon is now unravelling, with the IRS circling like vultures. The truth behind Meghan and Harry's charity is more sinister than anyone ever imagined, and the walls are closing in on them. Archewell Foundation has been exposed as a publicity stunt, a tax shelter, and a way for the Sussexes to fund their lavish lifestyle without doing anything for those they claim to help. Meghan and Harry promised to make a difference with Archewell, but the truth is they've been using it to funnel money into their own pockets. In the past year, things have gotten catastrophic. Archewell Foundation has been declared delinquent by the state of California, meaning it can no longer engage in its core function as a charity raising and spending money. Meghan and Harry have spent millions on salaries for their small staff, with $913,000 going to pay just 2 staffers. Meanwhile, the charity itself is sitting on an unsold inventory worth an astonishing $23 million. Meghan's jam, candles and teas, all of which were hyped up as part of her new business venture, have been a total flop. They've sold only a handful of items, leaving a mountain of unsold stock.
This has been like the last week of 2025 just revealed how catastrophically bad things are going for Harry and Meghan. Archewell is essentially done. Any aspect of their charity has essentially collapsed completely. And it's been revealed for what it really always was, which is a publicity stunt. They were completely and utterly willing to throw aside the people they were supposed to help. And now we have the situation where...
gathering dust in a warehouse. And here's the kicker. It'll take 9 years to sell through the current stock at the rate things are going. But the problem isn't just that the business is failing, it's much worse. The IRS is launching a full investigation into the Archewell Foundation's financials, and they're likely going to uncover some serious issues. Archewell has failed to file proper tax documentation for 3 years, a massive red flag for any organisation. This isn't just a financial oversight, it's potential tax fraud. If the IRS digs deeper, it could lead to criminal charges for both Meghan and Harry. What's more, the timing of this investigation is extremely suspicious. Right as the scrutiny around Archewell was mounting, Meghan and Harry rebranded it to Archewell Philanthropies and changed their structure to hide their financials under a fiscal sponsorship model, a clever tactic to obscure where their money is actually going. But you can't hide everything, and the truth is slowly coming to light. Their lavish lifestyle, private jets, designer wardrobes, and multi-million-dollar mansions is all being funded by charity donations.
A million jar toppers or whatever. And I'm beginning to think that's somewhat true. And unfortunately for her, I don't think it's going to be a bargain that worked out well for her, or a gamble that worked out for her. And I just did want to show you guys
their $2 million security bill, paid for by Archewell, $5.1 million in expenses. Only $1 million went to actual charitable causes. The rest? That went into covering the Sussexes' extravagant lifestyles. Meghan Markle's so-called business is now in shambles, and so is their charity. It's been revealed that while Archewell's donations have collapsed, their spending has soared, with salaries and administrative costs eating up millions. And it gets worse. While Archewell is going under, Meghan's big business venture, as ever, is an absolute disaster. On top of her failed charity, Meghan has been caught sitting on millions of dollars worth of unsold inventory. Everything from $6 million worth of marmalade to 80,000 flour sprinkles. She's failed to sell her products, and her so-called brand is crashing down around her. Remember when Meghan's jam was a sensation and sold out instantly? It was all a lie. She strategically understocked the initial launch to create artificial demand, but now that the truth is out, people aren't buying. The $36 marmalade isn't cutting it, and neither are the other overpriced, underwhelming products. But Meghan isn't the only one sinking. Harry's attempts to claw back into the royal family are becoming more desperate by the day. With his failed Netflix deal, no source of income, and a collapsing charity, he's now manufacturing a fake stalker threat to try and get taxpayer-funded security when he visits the UK. His so-called stalker is a known Sussex squad fan who's been spotted with Harry multiple times. But now, suddenly, she's a credible threat, just when Harry needs the UK government to foot the bill for his armed security. It's a setup designed to paint him as the victim and pressure the British public into giving him the protection he wants, even though he's no longer a working royal. The UK public is furious. In the middle of a cost of living crisis, they're being told that their tax money is going to fund the security of a millionaire who moved to California, trashed his family, and abandoned his country. Harry's move to manufacture a stalker threat to justify his request for security has sparked outrage across the UK, and the people aren't having it. Why should they fund his protection when they're struggling to pay their bills? Princess Anne, one of the hardest working royals, only gets security when she's on official duty. Yet Harry, who left the royal family, is demanding 24/7 protection paid for by the taxpayers. The hypocrisy is infuriating. This is where everything comes to a head. Harry and Meghan have built their brand on lies and manipulation. They want the perks of royalty, the money, the status, the attention, but none of the responsibility. They want to live in luxury while the British public is struggling.
By the magazine editor that wanted to turn you into a star, that in their cover feature, they actually screw you over in such dramatic fashion that you may end up being stripped of your royal title. That is just what's happened overnight with this extraordinary cover feature on Harper's Bazaar with Meghan Markle as they claim that she's meeting her moment.